Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we have a 222 portal and it has an important message for all of us. So firstly, number 2 holds within a message of balance, of trust, of harmony, of faith. And it is reminding us to ask ourselves how well we are balancing our lives so we can stay in that beautiful center of being, which means to have faith for the future, but at the same time to take action that will bring us to where we want to be. Right? To balance the logic and creativity, to balance the feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves. And in order to balance those aspects of us, we need to understand them, right? What's my masculine part here? What's my feminine part here? How well am I training my logical mind? How well am I training my intellectual mind? And how much I'm opening myself for creative thoughts? How much I'm opening myself to step outside of the program, to step outside of this matrix, and truly find my own way here, to truly find my own calling, to truly find what's navigating me through life. Like, who am I becoming in this process, right? So it's a reminder that you are not trapped in this reality. You're here to master it so you can set yourself free. Number 2 is a number that represents the state of perfect balance. And today, I'm reminding you to find balance in your life. It represents the point between the conscious and subconscious mind. So what is that point? Well, for example, when we get into a state where we're not thinking much about our lives anymore, but we are not asleep as well. It's the state we usually enter in meditation, or sometimes we may stay aware before we fall into sleep. That's the beautiful state in which we can influence our subconscious mind. In that state, we can start thinking creatively about the life we want to experience. And we may plug ourselves to some new ideas that may find us. Sometimes in our dreams, sometimes in our daily lives, we can experience certain synchronicities that may lead us to those wanting events. But because today we have this beautiful alignment, it means that if you get into this state and set some intentions or visualize the life you want to live, it may help you to stay in that alignment longer and to experience some answers, or to experience some guidance, or to experience something that can help you to become the version of yourself that you know you're meant to be. Because of our conditioning and schooling and everything we've been through, we've a little bit lost ourselves. But many people are awakening right now and questioning everything about life. That's why people get sometimes into spiritual philosophies and different philosophies and knowledge to find answers that can be found anywhere else. And today's day is reminding you that you're here to set yourself free. Like, nobody else will set you free but yourself. And in order to understand that, you need to remind yourself that whatever is inspiring you in life has a huge part in your evolution. Whatever is inspiring you. And I don't mean just videos that may uplift you and music that may uplift you. But if you pay close attention to emotion of inspiration, you will recognize that, for example, when you watch a video like that and you feel inspired, it's not just that video inspired you. Video just reminded you of something that's within you that wants to go out. That's something I've learned in the past, at the time when I've started painting. And today I'm sharing with you painting the center of life, which represents firstly that middle point, that is the point of the center, when we are at peace with ourselves, when we are perfectly balanced. And then there are two sides. You can see a man and woman in the center of this painting. And what I've learned in the past is that when we feel inspired because something within us wants to be expressed. So every time you feel inspired, ask yourself, what can I do with this feeling right now? How can I express you? Because you may notice that within yourself you hold certain talents that you may be ignoring them. You may be pushing them aside because of your busy life. But nothing is more important than recognizing what makes you unique, right? And you can only recognize what makes you unique if you pay attention to what makes you different from everybody else. And inspiration often can encourage you to do something that usually you're not doing. To start something that usually you would never start. You only do because you feel inspired to do that. And that is so powerful because if we look around ourselves, the whole system is designed the way that we should just become like everybody else. And then we compare ourselves with each other and we are afraid what other people think. But other people are also afraid of what other people think. So we don't know who's actually afraid of who is thinking about who, if everybody is just lost in their own minds. Right? And then we step outside of this web and we recognize where there's our own path we need to start walking on. And 222 is reminding you that you have already everything you need. Right? We have two legs so we can find balance during our walking. It is reminding us to build stability in our life so we can freely choose what is in the greatest possible resonance with our hearts. So what it means? Well, if I would ask yourself, what would you do if there would be no money, no time limitation? You would maybe make different choices than you're making right at this moment. And because our life is made out of tiny little choices we make on moment-by-moment basis, we may find ourselves experiencing life that we don't want to see because we've set certain limitations onto our minds. And those limitations are not ours, those are the programs of our society and of our conditioning and everything we've been through. But deep inside there's still something present that is saying to you, well, my friend, you can't ignore this anymore, right? You can't ignore this feeling anymore. 222 is reminding you, you have already everything within what you need. It's not seeking validation, it's not seeking approval, it's not waiting that somebody will say to you, you're ready. My mentor said to me, if you will be waiting to be ready, you will be waiting your whole life. It's not about waiting to be ready because you're already ready. You've been born ready. You've come here because your soul is ready. And we need to recognize that because, of course, our skills maybe need to be developed. What we're doing, well, we need to develop some of our skills and talents, but it doesn't mean that you're not ready. You can only become better if you decide, okay, I'm ready, I will do that. I will make a video. I will make that song I'm working on for such a long time, right? And it's a powerful day to sit down and visualize yourself where you want to be in the future and feel that future. Feel yourself in that future and ask yourself something I said in the previous video. Ask yourself, what is one thing you did back at this time right now, that brought you to where you are in that future? So if you're feeling yourself being in that potential future, make it up. That's how powerful your mind is. Make it up. Feel yourself being in that potential future and ask yourself, what was one thing you did back at that time, at this time, that brought you to that reality? If life is a product of tiny little choices we make on moment-by-moment basis, right now you're choosing something, right? We are always choosing something. We choose thoughts, we choose actions, we develop habits. All our habits have been chosen by us, and to redesign them, to change them, means that we firstly need to become aware of them, right? We need to become aware of ourselves. So it is an important reminder to remind ourselves also of our belief system, how important it is to shift our beliefs, to recognize that what we are perceiving, we are always just looking for confirmation of what we believe to be true, right? That's how our mind works. We're always looking for confirmation of what we believe to be true. So when you say, well, for me it's really, really hard to lose weight, or it's really, really hard to change this habit, if that's your belief, when you will be walking through life, you will get nothing else but approvals that that belief is true. But then we become aware of the belief that is kind of annoying to us, that is truly limiting us. And we ask ourselves, well, how much my life would change if I would start saying to myself that changing habits is really easy. For example, before you go to sleep or before you fall into sleep, you're laying in your bed and you just start saying to yourself and visualizing how much you love changing habits for the healthier ones, how much you love organizing your life the way that life starts serving you, how much you love working out and taking care of the things that can amplify your well-being. If you will stay consistent with that, you will notice that something in your subconscious mind is changing. In the morning you will wake up and you will feel a bit more motivated to make certain necessary changes. That's the 222, reminding you how powerful you are. Reminding you that within yourself is already all the power that you are seeking for. There's no teacher that is more powerful than yourself when it comes to your personal understanding of yourself. Nobody can teach you so well about you than you can teach yourself about yourself. And it's an important reminder because we like to distract ourselves, because we like to avoid our responsibilities. But the most important responsibility for us is to build a life that will be fulfilling to us. That's the most important responsibility. The second most important responsibility is to teach others to live a life of fulfillment after we've learned for ourselves how it can be done, right? Those are two most important responsibilities. And once we learn for ourselves, like what works, once we recognize what works for me, you will notice that it's much easier than you thought that it is. So remind yourself, my friends, that right at this moment, you are deciding what kind of life you will live 1 year after now. So choose wisely what you will do after this moment, right? Because your subconscious mind is never resting, always just receiving what you're perceiving. It is always receiving what you're perceiving. So make sure that every single day you take care of perceiving things that puts you in balance. That you are reading books that can open your eyes. That you are listening information that can remind you of who you are. That you take action towards the life that is really meaningful for you. That you make sure, if you're working so much, that you also take time to play, to rest, to rejuvenate, to nurture your body, your mind, your heart. Never forget about yourself. Because once you notice that nothing is more powerful than you being yourself, you will recognize that you will never ever allow yourself to do something that's unhealthy for you, right? And that is a choice. So at some point we may recognize, well, I just don't tolerate those things anymore. I don't tolerate not taking care of my health anymore. I don't tolerate wasting my energy for the things that are not in alignment with me anymore. I don't tolerate those things anymore. Because we can only do the things that we tolerate, right? At some point we recognize, well, I can't stand this anymore. And it's the moment where we decide to change. So you need to know for yourself what you truly tolerate in your life. And sometimes we need to raise our standards so we can open ourselves for something new. It's hard to be open for something you want to experience if you're staying the same, right? If you're staying still kinda chained to those old beliefs and stories that are not serving you anymore. So ask yourself, what would be your ideal life that you would like to live? And allow your heart to guide you there by staying open to perceive the signs and synchronicities that are leading you towards that direction. My friends, this is it for today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Have a beautiful day. Till next time, one love.